Caitlin Sharp from Sharp Plant Designs. We're going to do a tutorial today about how to install a zipper using your Serger and or Coverstich Serger combo. I have a Baby Lock Evolve, which is a cover stitch and serger, so I can do a serge and a chain stitch at the same time, which is great for the current project I'm working on, which is floor pillows for my kids, and I'm using the extra scrap fabrics to make some other fun pillows to kind of go around the area. So I started installing the zippers, and I figured I'd do a tutorial about it because zippers can be tricky even on a regular sewing machine. And so you know, using your serger and your cover stitch makes it a little bit more complicated. So I figured I could kind of walk you through like what I do, and you know, if it helps you with your either your business or your projects that you're working on at home. So I'm using a 12 by 12 pillow form right here, and it's just, you know, polyfill pillow. You can pick up at any kind of craft store, Amazon, your preferred place for crafting needs. And this is a directional left to right, Michael Miller or Riley Blake. I can't remember who the designer is, and it does not, I don't have the salvaged edge to read it off of. But this is a left to right print, so you can see the cars go here left to right. And so that's how I'm going to orientate my pillow, which means that my side seam is going to be folded. I'm just folding it because I really just don't want to feel, I don't feel the need to serge it. You know, I mean, for, more complete decorative purposes, you could totally, you know, either cut or just, you know, sew the end to make it look more uniform. But I'm trying to make a whole bunch of pillows today for my kids. So, you know, I'm just saving myself a little bit of extra time. So anyways, so my top seam is going to be, I'll fold this so you can actually see the fabric. So this is going to be my top seam, my side seam, and down here at the bottom, this will be my bottom seam where we're going to install the zipper. And doing it on the serger is, you know, not as tough as you might think. It does get a little tricky because there's no, I don't think there is a zipper foot attachment for a serger, but I don't have one if there is. And if there is one, please let me know, because that would be fantastic. So you do have to either pick a longer zipper or kind of work your way around the toggle and the metal ends. And that's the other thing you also have to be very cognizant of with your serger, is putting it on, taking the knife off when you're doing it, so you're not cutting into the edge of the zipper, but also being aware of where the metal pieces are here, because these will break a needle. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and then we will get started on how to do this. All right, we're back here looking at my Baby Lock Evolve Serger Cover Stitch combination machine. You can see that I have it set up for a 4-thread serge with a 1 needle chain. So I've got 6 threads on, and you can see that I've got my fabric's a natural color, so I chose a natural color for the chain and the chain looper and the chain needle. And you can look here, you can see that I've got 3 needles set up, my 1 chain, and then here the 2 serger threads. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna just jump right into the zipper installation, and you'll have to pardon me while I move this camera over to the side so I can sew and chat at the same time. So, aha, sewing jokes. Okay, as you remember, here's our fabric. It goes left to right, and I am folding it in half with the right side of the fabric facing each other, because you want your seam on the inside. And as you can see here, here are the tops of the cars, here are the wheels. So we're going to actually turn this around 180 degrees to put our zipper here at the bottom. Now our material is about 14 inches wide, And our pillow is our zipper and pillow are both about 14 inches wide as far as the length goes. And I'm going to match up the zippers here. Okay, so you can see that I'm on the inside of the fabric here. So, you know, just kind of placing the zipper, you can see that this, you can see here, this is how we're gonna install it. You're gonna right side to right side. So the right side of the zipper to the right side of the fabric. And so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna take the knife off so you can just see it went down. So my knife is now off. Because this is a pillow, the zipper is not going to go end to end. I will end up having to sew the ends together a little bit. Also, I don't have a zipper serger foot, and as I was saying earlier, I don't even know if they make one. But if they do, please let me know. Okay, so we have this right here. So we've got our zipper all matched up. And what we're gonna do is, so we're gonna start with the end that you can sew the most on, which is actually this end right here of the top part of the zipper. I'm just gonna move this to the side a little bit so I don't knock it with my elbow. Okay. And if you want, you can use Wonder Clips here to keep your to hold your zipper down. I do not generally sew with pins or clips. I generally just hold the fabric with my fingers. However, there are people that are more comfortable doing that, and if that's where you are, that's fine by all means. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. So I have, my needles are up, my foot is up, and you can see that I have the edge of the, you can see I have the edge of the zipper right here lined up with the edge of the fabric. I'm gonna swing it around and give you a better view and zoom out just a tad here. There we go. And so we're gonna manually feed the fabric and the zipper together until you get to the point, oops, sorry, I'm knocking the tripod over here. Let me move this down. This is, by the way, the first video tutorial I've tried to film, so please bear with me with all the Blair Witch style camera tricks. Okay, so you can see right about here the zipper is started. I'm going to go ahead and put the foot down, give the serger a turn, hold the needles in. Now I'm going to hold the zipper and the fabric, and I'm just going to start off slow with my serger. And pulling on the back of my serger, keeping everything nice and line. Trying not not to move the camera too much and actually trying to slip around the camera. Okay, and now we're getting close to the end of the zipper. And this is where I stop, right here, because I don't have any allowance for this to go through on the foot. So I bring my foot up, I bring my needles up, I move the fabric to the side, and I cast off. Cut my tails, put my foot back down. And as you can see, there we go. It's a little bit better light. As you can see, the zipper has now been nicely installed, and look at that beautiful zipper seam right there. I mean, just fantastic. I mean, just really fantastic looking. And then the inside, so your zipper's been attached, your edges have been finished. It's a great way to do the pillow. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and as you remember, this is folded in half, and we are starting on the end last time we had the zipper on top with the fabric on the bottom. This time we're going to have the fabric on top with the zipper on the bottom, because we want to start where we can get the most, where we can sew over that start of the zipper. So we're gonna lay this flat, and again, foot up, needles up at their highest position, and then we're just going to kind of push this through. And here, I mean, you know, we've got the other zipper, so if you end up sewing over the extra zipper twice, really not a big deal. So that's, I think, what we're going to end up doing here. And so actually, I take that back. I'm going to move it up as much as possible. That way, so it the feed dogs don't catch the zipper, because you want both. That's the other thing about the sergers, that you want both your zipper and your fabric to move together. And to discuss a little bit just about the serger settings I have right now on the Evolve, I have it on Stitch Selection A, and I have it in N for neutral for the feed dog differential, because I'm not dealing with a knit fabric here that is going to either slip forward or slip backwards as I sew. I've got two very unstretchy pieces of fabric with the zipper tape. So we're going to drop the needles down and up a couple times, just get it started, and then up. See, I you know, even I get errors. So I got stuck on the feed dog, so I just had to yank it forward a little bit. So it would get unstuck, so it wouldn't sit there and just keep sewing over the same point. And this is just being tricky, this one. You know, it's just sticking a little bit, which, you know, it happens. You know, I don't sew perfectly all the time, and, you know, I'm glad to see it when it happens on tutorials, because you're just like, does it, you know, do they do it awesome all the time? And the answer is no. We all, I mean, our machines get fickle. They need to get serviced, you know. After all, you know, they are sewing machines. And they like to be temperamental, especially when they're needed to perform. So, just gonna finish sewing this one up. Alright, we've got about 6 inches left here. And as you can see, we pull this up where our zipper toggle is. So pull the foot up, bring the needles up, move it to the side, cast it. Okay, and so as you can see, we have the zipper installed here on the bottom. Now we do need to do a couple of more things to get it to where we need it. So we've got to finish up the corners here. So you can see that there's a gap here where we sewed it, which is fine, you know, not a big deal at all. Real easy to kind of fix and just sew up real quick. So the first is that here we're going to took our zipper and just zipped it down a bit. You just kind of put it in the middle because we've got to use the ends and both. We've got to sew up both ends. So I like to put it in the middle, just makes it a little bit easier. But you also want to, anytime you're sewing, you also want to make sure that your zipper is out of your sewing field. And so your sewing field, so our field is, you know, we're sewing here and we're sewing here. You want it in, actually you want it in your sewing field, not out of it. You want it on the interior, because otherwise if you were sewing a bag and you put your hem right here for the end of the bag, well, guess what? The left hem. So this toggle is not going to be able to open anymore. You just sewed your bag shut and, you know, did not allow yourself to have that opening for the zipper. So with this, you know, right here, I mean, you know, about a thumbnail, you know, about a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more, for where the zipper tape is. And so this, I am going to turn the knife back on. So when I did turn the knife back on and give it a revolution or two on the old needle, my knife is back up, which is fantastic. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to be mindful of where these two metal tags are, because we don't want to sew over them. And what we're going to do is bring our foot up and almost in line with the knife. So the knife really is just going to end up trimming the tails, and the metal piece should be out of the field of that chain needle. But in case it's not, what I'm going to do, and I suggest you do, is you just do a little bit of hand rotary until, you know, you're confident that you are not sewing over that metal piece in the zipper, because it's much easier to hit the metal piece with your hand when you're hand turning than it is when you are, sorry for knocking the camera there, when you're on the machine, because you feel it, you still feel it, but you can react to it much better on a hand when you're turning it by hand than you can when you're on your foot pedal, and then you break your needle and you gotta change out needles and everything. So just a tip. All right, and so I think we're good. We're gonna just cast off here. So we moved everything to the side. Do a little foot pressure. We're gonna cut. These will just tie up. So I'm just gonna take the tails here, tie it up real quick. You know, just a nice little double knot will do. And because we're doing a serge and a chain, I just take my chain and my serging tails and tie them together. It makes it nice and quick. Just snip it with my favorite orange whisker scissors. You can see here how this is all sewn up. Now we've got these sticking out a little bit, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to hop over on my sewing machine real quick. And that's the other thing, like if you don't have the chain stitch ability, by all means, you know, use what you have. You know, and for many years before I'm gonna take you across everything. Many years I did a serge and just a straight stitch, and that's really all chain stitches. So right here is where the edge of the zipper is, and it doesn't look great with it sticking out, so I'm just gonna start it up here, drop the needle. And this is my Baby Lock Bellissimo Gold 2. We're just gonna go forward, back stitch, and we're just going to kind of carve into that line, back stitch again. So you can see, you know, we just kind of, and you can see, you know, in the shadow right here, here's the zipper tail. So we just kind of carved around it. This is a 14 gauge needle that I have on here from a different project, but since I was doing zippers and canvas, I thought I'll just keep it on there. And now you can see that the corner just looks so much nicer now that we just kind of tucked it in. And you know, it's a little bit shorter, but you're not going to tell. It's a pillow. And so now we're just going to hop back over onto the serger, finish up that that really nice oops, sorry for the Blair Witchiness again. Okay, now we've got it set up. Now we're just gonna finish up the other end of the pillow and then serge the rest of the 3 sides and we'll be good to go. Okay, so here we are at the other end of the pillow. We've got this tail right here and we've got this right here. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna so you see where we stopped right here. And we are going to meet these 2 pieces together and we're gonna start just right before it ends. So kind of lifting up that serger foot, making sure that everything's got a nice place under here. So here's where we stopped. So I'm just gonna move that to where, just right where the foot starts to come back down and meet the presser plate. And I'm gonna bring the zipper out. So this is another one where I like to hand crank at first because I am gonna use my knife. Oh, sorry, moved you guys off. Here we go. Let me move this down just a bit so you can kind of see this better. There we go. I am going to hand crank it because I am going to use the knife on the serger to cut the zipper. And I just want to do this very carefully. And I also want to keep my fingernails and my fingertips intact on my body. And here's where it takes a really hard crank, is that now that we're cutting through that actual zipper material. And this is a plastic zipper, so it is cuttable. It's not a metal zipper. It won't break my machine. So there we go. The zipper tail fell off, so now we can, you know, finish it out. And then just kind of casting off, trimming it, and then you can see how nicely this finished. Just got a few little odds and ends to put in, but you can see that, you know, that just we nicely enclosed the zipper into the pillow. And then making sure that we unzip the now bottom of our pillow so we can flip it inside out when we're done. And we're just going to match this up here. And then I've got to cut about a 1/4 inch off here. And I'm going to leave these a little bit longer because we're not serging over them or sewing over them. And so you can see I've got my serger tails and my chain tails. And so I'm just going to take them. Oops. Gotta put the pillow up on the desk here. So I'm going to just take these, tie them. The other thing I like to, I'll do sometimes when I'm sewing is I keep a lighter handy because I use a polyester thread, so heat makes it melt. So sometimes, you know, I'll just cut and then I'll just burn the ends. It also works well if you're trying to finish the ends of cross grain ribbon so they don't, so they don't unfray, so they don't fray in the first place. And then, you know, doing the same thing over here on this end because this is our folded end. And so, just kind of tying them up real quick. And double knots, snip, and just kind of gonna go around here and trim up the other ones that I've already tied. Snip, snip, snip. Just kind of back this out here. So you can see we now have our finished pillow. So here's our zipper, and we're just gonna flip it inside out. You take the corners, just kind of poke your finger out in each corner. Sorry, I'm missing the camera here. And then taking it over here, poked it out, unzip it all the way, and then we're going to take our 12 by 12 pillow form. I'm actually going to, this is the other part of my workroom. I'm going to just bring the camera up here a little bit. You get to see where all the creative magic happens here at Sharp Plant Designs. All right. Hey, everybody. All right. I'm going to just move this up a little bit. Hi. Okay. So we've got our pillowcase here and our 12 by 12 pillow form. So just kind of, you can bring the edges together to put the pillow into the pillow form, or however it's easiest for you. I generally just try to take one corner at a time and kind of just stuff it in here like this. And then just making sure all the corners are square. Take that zipper, zip it up. And then here we go. You've got a brand new pillow with a pillowcase, you know, and this will coordinate nicely with the floor pillows that I made for my kids. So here was the tutorial on how to install a zipper using your Serger and Coverstich machine. Enjoy and have an awesome time crafting. All right.